Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and this is Logjam Lumberyard. Now, the drop map is created for this build in here, and I'll explain that in a second. The very first thing we do every video is just do a breakdown here of all of the spawns and, unique stuff about Logjam. So first off, Logjam has 40 chests. If we scroll out a bit, we can see that a fair amount of the chests are in this building up here, with another good amount over here. So that's really the split, and then down here would be pretty shambles. There are really good wood spawns here, but there is not really anything else. And the metal is really, most of the metal is in here, but you can get good metal in this building as well, and pretty bad or decent metal over here. So if we go into floor loot, there are 57 floor loot spawns. They're all over the place. It doesn't really matter, but you want to make sure that you check all these in case you find any pads. Ammo boxes, there are 43 ammo boxes. So if you do get this place unconned, you guys should be leaving with an insane amount of ammo because you have a good amount of chest, a good amount of floor loot, and a good amount of ammo boxes. Now for vending machines, there is a 2-weapon vending machines. So if you do split this, be cautious of what is in each vending machine. So if the bus pulls something like this and you're landing over here, maybe when you're flying through, see what this vending machine is, because if it's a sniper, no one's going to buy it. But if it's a striker, then you can be like, okay, well, we know that when we push these guys, they might have a blue striker or maybe even a purple striker, depending on the gold situation here. Launch pads, this is pretty new because I'm pretty sure all these launch pads are going to be IO bases, and there might be some more that popped up. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen, because there are IO spawns here. Where is the... Can I show that? Is it just in chest? Yeah, just in chest. Okay, so there are 2 chests up here. I'm not sure who would actually get this. Like, if you're unconned, you could come up here and get this, but I'm thinking it might be incorporated in some split over here, because the web shooters are here as well, so someone could do some split and yoink that as well. But there's a launch pad here. If you guys do have to rotate out, then you can hit this launch pad and go towards zone or key somewhere else or whatever. So web shooters don't really matter. You're not going to get any of these spawns, so it's kind of irrelevant. Cars, these are important. So there are a few car spawns. The most important car here is the big tires and the Lambo. There are no Lambo spawns here, but there are 4 4-door spawns. So make sure you check these to see if they spawn, because 4 doors are really good for duos for rotating, basically up into like 4th zone. Trucks are okay, but I mean, they're still not the best. And then these trucks are horrible, and the Lambos are good if you have big wheels on them. Quad crashers, until they fix the bug where you can't actually fly with them, then they're pretty useless. But that is in terms of, there is only 1 tire spawn, so if you do get 4 doors, you can put a tire spawn or a big tire on it, but you don't have to. Rifts, I don't think you're going to be impacted at all with rifts. There's a rift spawn up here, so if you do hear rifts, then it is probably this team here, and they most commonly will be flying over you like this. So it's important that you know that. So if you hear the rifts early, you can look up, especially if you're uncaught, and see if you can get a free surge, or even if you have god aim, knock someone out of the air. Now slurp barrels, there are only 2 here, and they aren't that important. I mean, if they're unconned, you save 20 shield. If this was 5, then it would be different. So it doesn't really matter in terms for the loot route. Noms, there are only 2 spawns, and there's 1 over here and 1 here. So, if you get peppers, you get peppers, but I wouldn't hold peppers over other stuff as well, unless you have an open slot. The rest doesn't really matter. Coolers, no cooler spawns. Ice machines, we have 1 over here at the gas station, doesn't matter. Reboot van is in the dead middle, so that's good to know, just in case of everything. And then that's really it in terms of anything that is important. So now we're just going to break down why the drops map is created for this build in here. So the most important thing and the most reoccurring theme that I found in these POIs is that people like to pick the building and land on wherever the highest point is. The whole point of that is that when you land there, for the shifty mountain, for example, you get weapons early, you get guns early, and that way you can look around, especially if you're on controller or even if you have good aim on either controller or mouse and keyboard, that you can look up at the people flying in and get early tags. So if you tag someone early for 80, that means they have to heal 80 white and then heal the shield, which takes time and away from their looting. And then that means, okay, so we know that the Catwoman skin is hit for 80 white, the other person is in the same skin, so when we push and if we do it super early, there's a good chance the Catwoman skin will be lower. Even like a medkit's 10 seconds, so campfire or something like that. So for floor spawns, most of the floor spawns are actually not on the roof, they're on these little railings here, so you can hit a rail in and go up on the roof and go for tags. But the reason why I mainly like this better is that a lot of the chests are really close together. It's same over here, but you would land on one side and you split it like this. And let's say that it's split like this. So this guy gets a way more loot. So this guy loots all of this, and then he can get on the building early. He can get on the building super early and watch for his teammate. And there's good mats in here as well. There's metal, there's brick. So worst case scenario, if you did split it like this, where one team lands on this half, you can land here, you can realistically have good loot with just this here. And now you can even rotate over here and hit the pad and keep going if you wanted to, or rotate out and see if you yoink some of this stuff and then start moving to zone. So you can realistically leave this spot just by hitting this building, because there's good brick, there's good metal, and there's decent loot. Now, in terms of fighting, I think what really happens is who pushes first, because with the split on this side, there's a few options. To say option one is with yellow, is that both teammates land here and they loot this, and this is uncon. So let's say we're blue over here and we go like this. So 2 is going to be finished looting first, and they're going to be done pretty early because all the chests are kind of compact. So this guy, one of these guys have to be aware enough to, okay, recognize we have to be careful. They can push over now. So you have to be ready for that. But you could just say, okay, we have good fighting loot. Let's sneak around. We can hit these barrels, the noms here, go over here, get over here. So if we did something like, let's go back, let's say 2, he's done early, he's looted all this, they aren't pushing over, and he sneaks around like this and gets on this roof or that roof. Now we have something like this. So now we have 1 here and 2 over here. And then let's say that what happens over here on yellow is that yellow starts moving up. They think, okay, I don't see anyone on the roof, no one has shot at us or anything, so let's start creeping our way up. We have 1 and 2 up here, and now you guys have a disgusting pinch. I mean, it's still early game, so the mats should be low on both sides, or not that high to be able to hold back from all the spraying and everything in this meta. So you should be able to pressure these 2, get one of them super low, and then collapse together on that guy and hopefully pick up the kill. So that's the options you have. Now, what if you don't send somebody up to scout? What if this guy doesn't actually go up to scout? Then yellow could have a chance to sneak up. Either they run through this catwalk here, which is going to be loud, or they themselves go over here and hopefully to catch your teammate off when he does rotate. So then it'd be a 2v1, and one would have to go a fair amount of distance to be able to help his teammate. So it's important you kind of understand the timing, watch the pros, see, you know, how they actually do this timing, because while I may tell you it, it's entirely different to recognize the strategies yourself when you watch pros. I'm pretty sure Rogue Shark and Knight land here. So and they're really they're a long time duo and they're smart guys. So if you want to watch somebody that lands here, I would highly recommend them. In terms of really anything else, I mean, the rotates are pretty bad out of here because you don't really have a consistent, you know, car spawns, while, you know, Coney, Tilted, everywhere else kind of has more than just 4 car spawns here. So your rotates are pretty scuffed, and you do have to rotate through some hot areas. So Logjam would definitely be like a secondary POI. Alrighty, we're back. So we were talking about the rotates and how, you know, it's not that good. You don't have cars, you don't have web shooters, you don't have quad crashers. You do have this launch pad, but that will realistically only get you over here. And the biggest thing is that there are pretty significant places around you here. So we have Shifty and Shifty Mountain. So if Shifty Mountain's in zone, then the Shifty team should be up here to get Surge, because I mean, it's a huge spot and they can look at all of this. So that really forces you to kind of loop around like this. You wouldn't want to go this way because then you're stuck between any team. Here, let me go out a bit. Let's do black. Is that a better color, you think? Yeah, that looks good. So we have the Shifty team up here, probably set up like this, and then we have another team that does some type of split over here, North Sleepy, South Sleepy. So looping around would definitely be pretty scuffed, because you would probably get tagged up by both of these while you're rotating, and then even the Sleepy teams might look at you. So you wouldn't want to go that way. The best bet would probably be up through the middle like this, and trying to use the natural cover of this mountain here to rotate your way up. Then once you get to like right about here, you can have whoever's in the other side of this card block you off while you're going. But then you also have to think about, okay, what else is nearby? We have this here. We have other mountains over here that people could base up on. There is that the llama spot split over here. So that could be something we have to be careful of. And then we also have this bridge here. Usually the people land at this bridge and then they go Spider-Man around and loot the other stuff all around. So it isn't really that crucial if it's later on. You should be able to either slip underneath it or go up and slip like this right through it if you have a car. Now if you don't have a car, that's where it's going to get a little scuffed. So you're going to have to definitely use natural cover and be super aware of where all the teams are and try your best to get as close to zone as you can get. Now if no one's over here, you can go across this fucking lake here and see if you can hit the rifts and keep going to zone. But the rotates are pretty scuffed here, so you will have to learn where people nearby you rotate, you know, what are search spots if they have zone and where they will be positioned, the timings of nearby POIs, and what's the safest route you can do. And the only way you can really learn that is by actually landing here, practicing, and VOD reviewing the pros. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This was not an actual like VOD review. It's just me here, but I did get this information from VOD reviewing. It's just I actually forgot to record it. And yeah, so that's it. So the next POI will be decided on the Twitter poll, and I'm gonna try to also slam up a bit more different kind of videos, like still Fortnite videos, but not POI ones. So yeah, cheers.